All right, welcome to another episode of Smack Talk, Leave It on the Court. I am your host, Cerebral, joined by my co-host, AK. What's going on, AK?
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
What's going on, Joe?
Shit, man. Another day. What's up?
Man, I'm good. How's everybody feeling today? We ready for this podcast this morning?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Always.
Week 3 of the NFL started off Thursday night.
Woo!
Believe land.
Yes.
The Browns did the impossible.
I'm happy.
Dilly, they got their beer.
yeah.
Yo, low key, I was checking social media.
They got their beer.
See how reckless Cleveland was gonna get that night.
I mean, after 635 days, you know what I mean?
That's a lot of L's.
Hey, enjoy it.
The Cleveland Browns fans held their own practice for kickers, and then they win the game the next week. I'm not saying there's a correlation to it, but
I mean, would you two say it's safe to say that if the Cleveland Browns had a decent kicker, they would be 3-0? Or if Baker Mayfield started all 3 games, would they be 3-0?
Tyrod's play in the first 2 games wasn't as bad as it was this.
Well, that first game was a little sloppy with the weather and everything, but
Yeah.
I think it was 5 missed field goals for Cleveland, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah, I believe so.
When they played week 2 against the Saints, I believe it was 2.
And
And
they
they
were timely.
were
They were
both
both
crunch
crucial.
time.
Yeah.
They were both
Crucial.
crunch time and both to win the game. If they would have made the field goal, it would have been game
nice.
over.
Yeah.
I mean, you could say they'd be 2-0-1.
Yeah.
2-0-1.
I think that tie would have happened anyway.
2-0-1.
Yeah.
You know,
With the potential of being 3-0.
or they're 2-1, no tie,
No tie, yeah.
and they lost to the Saints.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They
Yeah.
beat Pittsburgh.
It's obviously hypothetical. I was just throwing it out
Yeah,
there
but-
because it's
But
it's not a
worth
stretch
asking the
because they
question.
were both in both of those. They were in both of those games.
Yeah, no, I would feel more comfortable saying they'd be 2-1.
Yeah. I can
2-1.
I can dig it.
They're second place in that division right now.
This is the first time they've had a better record than Pittsburgh since 2014. Not saying that that says much, but I mean they have a better record than Pittsburgh.
Right. It's not how you start; it's how you finish, though.
It's also about not about how you get there, just as long as you get there. I mean, them
absolutely.
first 2 games weren't the best for them, but from what they've been doing, I'll take it if I was a Cleveland fan, no doubt.
Definitely.
Oh yeah,
Like you got a competitive. You can't take away. They've been competitive all 3 weeks.
yeah.
So I mean, kind of, especially when you're rebuilding, that's all you can ask for is a competitive team that's in every single game.
Hey, the defense ain't no slouch.
No, that's
they weren't bad last year though either.
No.
If you look at them, some of the games that they could have potentially won that they were close, the defense held them in check. And then their offense clearly just was so piss poor that they couldn't do anything to help the defense. So yeah, no, I like it. I mean, it's good to see Cleveland. You know, I like seeing teams that were nothing to finally come back and do something.
Tyrod was 4 for 14 with 19 yards in the first half.
Yeah, I know.
Sorry, bro, you ain't getting your job back.
No,
That's injury is a terrible way to lose your job, especially in football.
I don't think he was really that injured. If you heard the crowd, they were chanting for Baker Mayfield before
like
he even went out.
Even if he didn't get hurt, I feel like they would have had to say, okay, what are we going to do?
Yeah.
We have to make a change here somewhere because
The fans weren't going to
working.
make him let him out of that stadium if they
they
would
were
have kept
not.
Tyrod Taylor in there.
So I think all of us are fans of Baker Mayfield here at the table.
I like him because I like him.
I like
he's,
the intensity.
For all reasons.
Yeah.
I think it's all. I think it's for the same reason.
When
all of
he-
us. He's got that swag. To
Yeah,
him.
when they beat Ohio State and he ran out to the middle of the field with the Oklahoma flag, that was kind of like okay.
No, when he grabbed his nuts and flicked Brett
Against
Young,
Kansas?
fuck you,
Yeah, bro,
I
that's-
said, and they were all on ESPN. Oh, that's terrible. No, bro, that's football. That's competitiveness. I like that.
When he did
Beat
that
me.
against Kansas,
You
bro,
know what I'm saying?
and
Beat
then
me.
he ran up the score. I was like, good. That's what you should do. That's what
Yeah.
you're supposed to do.
Yes, definitely.
And I like because who was it? Colin Coward, and I can't stand that man. Maybe it was him or I think it was him. When they were reviewing his play from college, and he threw a touchdown, and he ran off to the sidelines, and he's like, Colin Collard's like, you didn't even go congratulate your teammate. He's like, what about the 3 touchdowns I threw before that? And I went and congratulated him.
when they had the interview together,
Yes,
I remember that.
and he put him in his place. I'm like, I like that. He didn't back down. He didn't
got
say, well, you
fired.
know what? I should have probably ran over. He said, no, you didn't see that I ran over to the sidelines and congratulated every single one of my
Right.
teammates.
There was a reason why he ran off to the sideline, though, too. I believe.
Yeah, it
I
was
forgot.
yeah. something like that. But you know what I'm saying? So I
And
like that.
that's a really shitty way to break down a quarterback. It's like, oh, you're
That's
not
all you had to say about
congratulating.
him. There was nothing else you could have. I personally don't like Colin Collard at
There-
all.
there was a very small time
when he started saying that, I was like, dude, who cares if the man wanted to kneel down by himself and pray or whatever,
Make a snow angel just cause.
Yeah,
who cares?
Who cares? You know how many players celebrate by themselves? A Lambeau Leap is by themselves. You don't criticize none of them.
Right.
You know.
So I think I'm interested to see what Baker Mayfield does now that his NFL career is officially starting. It's going to be fun. I mean, I know that the Johnny Manziel comparisons have been out there mostly because of size and scramblability and all that stuff like that. But I think
White.
It was only
that too. There's a lot of white quarterbacks though. But I think that
But
Baker
they can't
Mayfield,
scramble.
True. But Baker Mayfield has something. Baker Mayfield has kind of a quiet confidence that he doesn't really speak up unless you kind of put it on him. That I like. So we'll see what Baker Mayfield does. So congratulations to Cleveland. No team should go almost 2 full calendar years without a win in football. That's
Jarvis
depressing.
did start looking. Jarvis looked alive after Baker came in the game too.
He dropped a
called
touchdown
that.
Yeah,
Yeah, we did. We said, and what did we talk about? I was telling somebody that we were talking that
Jarvis
if
is
Jarvis
eventually
doesn't get the
gonna
passes,
start-
it's going to
Yep.
cause turmoil in the locker room, and then eventually they're going to have to force Baker Mayfield. I don't think that was the whole situation because I don't think Jarvis really was outspoken about that yet because it was only week 2
Right.
or week 3. I'm sorry.
Give it. If the switch had been made 2 more weeks, week 5. Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
for
Jarvis
sure.
is talking. But anyway, I think we're gonna watch and see what happens. Jarvis Landry's probably got a boost for somebody's fantasy team. Don't know whose. Let's talk the $100 million head coach, Chucky. John Gruden. The Raiders had looked really bad in their first 2 games. Did a press conference earlier in the week, and he basically said our pass rush is an issue. We're not getting pressure. We're not getting pressure on the quarterback. We've got to find a way to get pressure. And
He said that pass rushers are a dying breed, or they're hard to come across.
he said great pass rushers are hard to come by. Good pass rushers are hard to come by.
Yep. Pass rushes
Pass
are hard
rushes
to come.
are
yeah.
hard to come
Yep,
by.
That's what he said.
Well, John, I got a question for you. Why didn't you sign Khalil Mack to I don't know anything that he wanted? He wanted, what was it, 4 or 5 years?
I think he just wanted longevity, like you're saying, 4 or 5 years. I mean, the money
Arguably
will
one
come
of
with
the
that kind of
best-
contract.
Arguably one of the best pass rushers in the NFL, period. Khalil Mack has as many sacks as the entire Raiders defense.
Yeah.
One thing, though, it does help that he has Akeem Hicks there on top of that.
He's got a lot of talent
and
around him.
defense. Put him on a piss-poor defense, and let's see what his numbers
Get
really look like.
double-teamed all the time,
Yes,
and-
but when you got Akeem Hicks coming up the middle, you got to really double-team him because in all reality, he's one of the biggest. He might be more of a monster on that D-line than Khalil Mack is in all reality because
Eddie-
his pure size.
What's
And
his
Leonard
name?
Floyd is
Eddie
fast enough to
Goldman?
be able to get to
Yes,
people.
I'm
Eddie
not.
Goldman.
Yeah, I'm not a Bears fan by any means, but they have a really good defense. So you keep Khalil Mack on that Oakland defense.
Yeah.
his
Yeah.
numbers might not be that good.
They're not as good as they are now, but Khalil Mack has been playing on that defense for years and still been able to put up considerably impressive numbers.
Good numbers. Last year he didn't have crazy numbers.
he didn't
He
last
didn't
year.
last year. No, he was almost mediocre last year. The year before that was when he was outrageous.
Right.
That was a 15 sack
but,
year, I believe.
But that also shows as a whole of the defense because
Yeah.
if you have nobody else bringing pressure on the other end or up the middle,
You're getting double.
You can spotlight Khalil Mack. So I think that was one of the best situations for him was to leave Oakland to go there because the defense as a whole, you can't double team one person, and if you do, then the man next to him is going to come in and bull rush a quarterback.
Yeah, but they got to be talented enough to make that effective.
Yeah,
and you're absolutely right.
And like I said, I like Akeem. I think him and Khalil Mack together, the D tackle and a DN right there, that brings a lot of pressure. So I think that's helping highlight Khalil Mack a little bit more.
Yeah.
And I think and obviously you're playing with a little bit of a chip on your shoulder.
Definitely.
But it helps. Like I said, it helps that he's in that defense and that system because that defense is just overwhelming. Very overwhelming, and he adds to that.
Right.
But they were overwhelming before he got
Right,
there.
yeah. That was in a defense that was on the rise anyway.
Yes. So, and then you add him on top of that, and you're just like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Who do we guard? Who do we stop?
And the right answer hasn't been picked yet.
You gotta have
Who that? Who that?
you really have to have a good offensive line and a good blocking running back to even make an attempt to.
Which they haven't faced yet. The Bears defense hasn't faced a good offensive line
No,
yet.
the Packers we know are terrible.
Yeah, that was
Russell
that
Wilson
was
has been
bad.
running for his life for the last 5 years.
I think Seattle's got a worse offensive line than the Packers do,
I think
and
they do
that's
too.
saying a lot because the Packers have always had like the worst offensive line
For
ever.
having the
Both of those
best
teams have been
quarterback.
bottom stack
Yeah.
of,
You know,
of offensive lines.
For having the best quarterback, you think you would invest a little bit into that O-line.
That goes to how valuable Aaron Rodgers, like how much Aaron Rodgers
Absolutely.
affects the game because he gets rid of the ball so fast that it negates how terrible his offense.
And then if you give him time, it's even
it's
worse
over.
for you.
yeah, it's gonna make everybody look stupid.
and a good knee.
Yeah.
And they're talking he's going to be playing with that injury all year long
Yeah.
because it's a bone bruise.
Oh,
And bone bruises, I was talking to my therapist. He said bone bruises, the only way to heal is rest. It's not like we thought it was an MCL sprain to
Right.
where that will heal in like a week. A bone bruise needs time, long time, and no activity on it, no weight on it, no nothing. It's
like
gotta
what?
heal.
A couple
he's-
months, something like that. Yeah, really.
Depending the severity of the bone bruise, like CJ Mosley's is worse because CJ Mosley got hurt and they thought it was his knee, but it was or like an ACL, but it was just a bone bruise. His is worse than Aaron Rodgers, and he's not playing. Granted, he's running around a lot more, but yeah, they said my therapist said that bone bruises, you literally have to be off of it. No weight on it at all to help it heal. So he's gonna play with that shit all his
You
whole
think
year.
they're gonna take the approach of like very limited practice reps and kind of just
Oh,
have him
yeah,
play?
he probably not even practicing. He's probably just literally just standing there.
I mean, that was my opinion. I just wanted to get the question out for the viewers,
I think
because
I think that's 100%
I
accurate.
think he don't need to practice.
No, he doesn't need to
He could
practice.
sit down in a chair and throw a ball. And
You put $103 million in his suitcase. What are you doing to a $103 million man?
for real.
I mean, and,
He's in
and,
the
real.
chamber getting pushed around the practice
Straight up.
field.
and the Packers know how terrible they are without Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, it's
They're
And you know who their backup is? An ex-Cleveland Brown quarterback. So
Kaiser,
Huh.
Deshaun
yeah,
Kaiser.
That's ugly.
Yeah.
That was really ugly.
Justin tried telling me Brett Huntley's worse than Deshaun Kaiser. I said, how do you compare them? They're both terrible.
The Browns just drafted Kaiser, and
Yeah.
they wanted to get rid of him.
But what did Justin say about Tom Brady being the GOAT and Adam Vinatieri bailing
Oh
him
yeah,
out?
I don't even want to. True, but he's a Packers fan,
I
so I
know.
kind of trusted his judgment on the sense
Right.
of how. But Deshaun Kaiser, he's not very
Right.
good.
Brent Hundley at least came in and threw touchdowns.
Did
he
Devontae
threw
Adams.
threw interceptions, but it was kind of like, oh shit, I'm starting for the Green Bay Packers now.
Devontae Adams still had 12 touchdowns last year?
12,
12.
yeah.
12 touchdowns.
Yeah.
And Aaron Rodgers went out week 6, something like that.
He went out week 6, came back for one game, and then they set him again.
Because they weren't going to make the playoffs.
Yeah, no, go back down. It's okay.
Yeah.
Speaking of throwing touchdowns, though, Patrick Mahomes, 10 touchdowns, 0 interceptions.
70% completion rate.
Now it is still too early, but on this show we bashed the Chiefs, mainly because of Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, I
and,
didn't
and the
trust
question
him.
mark of not knowing what he was.
Right.
And the new offensive coordinator.
Yeah,
The-
and the
just
new
the
offensive
new
coordinator.
everything.
Yeah, it was
too many moving pieces to really know what you were going to have. Through the first 2 weeks, Patrick Mahomes looks like he is going to be Offensive Rookie of the Year. Once again, it's way too early.
Yeah,
but
week 2.
He looks like the
Week
real
3.
deal.
Yep.
I'm not knocking Patrick Mahomes because he looks good. A lot of them are very. The stats I feel lie because anyone can throw a 10-yard pass to Tyreek Hill and let the cheetah run for 80 yards.
Alex Smith has made a career off of that.
Yes. So
Speaking of Tyreek Hill, 12 catches, 260 yards, and 3 touchdowns this year.
Exactly.
That's
So-
like, whoa.
Yeah, exactly.
For 12
so
catches?
I can dump it off to him, and he can make magic. He made a couple good throws. I'm not going to say I've tried to catch a lot of their games, but one thing to rebuttal that is last year through the first 2 or 3 weeks, Trevor Siemian was the number 1 fantasy quarterback last year, and fizzled out to nothing.
Right.
Am I saying that Patrick Mahomes is going to end up like him? But it could be. And also, Andy Reid, what did his teams do? Start out 6-0
Hot.
and
off.
fizzle off
Yeah.
a lot. So
They've gotten to the playoffs, but you are right.
So you're telling me that you have a coach that starts out hot and ends up cold, and then a quarterback that is in his new system is the number 1 fantasy.
He's going to follow
quarterback.
that energy.
You could follow that. Trevor Siemian did it, and you know what I'm saying. He started off at the hottest quarterback, and then. Who is he? Trevor Siemian. Where's he at? Where's he play?
Who dat?
If
Who
he's
dat?
even in the league,
I don't.
I'd
I
be
think he
shocked.
got cut and nobody
Yeah.
even picked him up.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Not saying Patrick Mahomes is on that level because Patrick Mahomes seems a little bit more. stable.
And they got more invested in Patrick Mahomes, so he's not gonna.
Yeah, but that's the only thing. So yeah, and you also played a weak Pittsburgh team and a weak San Diego team. And even then, I mean, you guys run the score. Wait till you guys play a defense that play the Ravens defense.
Yeah.
Play the Bears defense.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The Chargers weren't putting no pressure. They didn't have Joey Bosa. He's out, so that's their pressure man.
Yeah.
You know, and then you got the Pittsburgh Steelers, which their defense, I think anybody can score on them at this point in time.
Yeah,
So-
the Steelers. The way the Steelers go about it is we're going to try to outscore you.
And that didn't work.
No.
Not even with Cleveland.
They put in a lot of points. Yeah.
Not even with Cleveland.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's just my take on them. I'm not bashing them. I don't want to bash them, but I'm just looking at the whole spectrum.
Still
that
too early for you.
Yeah, the sample size is too long. He's only thrown about 55 passes this year. So you only throwing 55 passes, man. That's not a big enough sample size for me to base anything off of. You know, it's kind of like, I don't know. Give me week 5 and let's see what you're looking like.
I kind of want to go longer than that. I want to go like week 10.
I don't know who their next few matchups are
Yeah.
in the next 2 weeks. I mean, who do they play this week?
This week they play
The Niners.
Niners, all right defense. I would like to see the next two, and then kind of based off that. But I mean, they could, if it's an easy schedule, he could continue to roll.
Boom.
You know.
20 minutes later.
What do you think about him, Joseph?
I mean, to be honest with you, I wasn't really thinking about it the way you kind of explained it. I mean, it does make sense. It is still too early.
He
But-
looks nice though.
He does.
I'm not saying he
he's-
doesn't.
He has weapons though. You know what I mean? Tyreek Hill is kind of like, I mean, almost a perfect receiver. Not a perfect receiver, but you drop the ball off to him and you know that yak is coming. You know what I mean?
Playmaker, a playmaking receiver.
That yak is coming for sure.
He's not getting 7 catches for
No,
60 yards. Like
Right.
he's getting
Right.
no yak yards or nothing.
Right.
Yes, I understand what you mean by that. He's tremendous with those yak yards.
Kareem Hunt is just kind of exactly what we said he was going to be.
Poop in the
You
bed.
know what I mean? Shit in the bed.
Yeah, that Spencer Ware is coming and taking some of those carries and touches
Yeah.
away from him, and it's a backfield by committee now.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think we'll check in on Kansas City when they play defense and kind of see what happens
Yeah.
and how he adjusts to that adversity of
By
playing
midseason. Yeah.
playing a team that will adapt to what you're doing as an offense, and now you got to adapt to what they're doing as a defense. I mean,
they have to play the Denver Broncos twice, which you can say whatever you want about their offense. Their defense is still good.
Defense is really, I mean, their offense is solid.
Even with losing Aqib Talib, you know what I mean? I mean, that's a big.
Well,
They play the Jaguars in 2 weeks, so that is going to be the test.
That's a good test.
So
you got
2 weeks.
So he's got to play the Broncos, the Chiefs, then the Patriots, and then the Bengals. And the Bengals defense are no slouch either this year.
Right.
So that stretch right there, and then he's got to play the Broncos again, and then they got to play the Browns after that. So he's
that's
got
a run of really good defenses. If he's still putting the numbers he's put up are unrealistically upkeep, but if he can still have impressive enough numbers, then we can start talking about how real is he.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Because, I mean, I think that stretch, I think that stretch right there, not necessarily this week, but
make
the
or break
Broncos, they're
stretch.
2-0.
Yeah.
Their defense is solid. The Jaguars, you're playing them immediately the next week after that. They're clearly 2-0.
And playing two really good defenses back to back usually doesn't vote well.
And they're playing Broncos.
Unless you're a high sophisticated offense, you know what I mean? That they can.
And Andy Reid is that. He is a very
He is.
offensive-minded
He
guru.
is.
He is. You've seen what he's done over the
players,
years.
Them players got to make the plays.
But the Jaguars,
Yeah.
you got to go play the Jaguars.
It's a tough D.
It's very tough defense.
And they bring pressure with just 4 men.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine if they run a blitz.
Scary.
And then what do you do as a young quarterback finally getting pressure in your face? That's usually when you see the rookie or first year starter, the inexperience come out because they get nervous. They start throwing the ball where they're not supposed to.
Oh,
and
Josh Donald, perfect example on Thursday night.
Sam Donald,
I'm sorry. He got a little pressure on his face.
Yeah.
Threw I don't know why he was throwing. He threw it right to the defender. That's what ended the game.
Oh, the one when he was going down kind of and he caught himself and then he just threw it.
Just chucked it.
Like, dude, no. Or when he was getting sacked. And he it's like, no, bro, you were down. You were down.
Even me and you were talking about week 1 against the Packers where Trubisky had Trey Burton wide open, but he didn't want to go to him, and he even could have ran it in right there. So I mean, that inexperience.
That is when
the check down.
That is
I wanted
yeah.
the touchdown.
That is when going through your progressions hurts.
Right.
If you see a clear cut touchdown,
Right.
throw the damn ball.
Yep.
But yeah, so we're gonna look out for Patrick Mahomes. We are gonna check back in on this later. The next topic that we got on the docket is Carson Wentz is finally gonna make his first start of the season. It's week 3. The Eagles are coming off of a loss.
And they lost a Jai.
Yeah, they still don't
And
have.
who else did they lose, bro?
No, he's playing.
Oh, he is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Fuck you.
I was just about to say I'm glad that worked out for you, but fuck you.
Look, man, you know we can't be nice at this damn podcast.
He's talking about Corey Clement. I picked up.
Yeah.
On
Wait, you just picked him up?
Picked him up. Yeah, and then literally I picked him up the next day. He said, "Oh yeah, he may not be hurt or may not play. He's got a quad injury." I said, I wasted a fucking transaction on your ass." But no, he's playing.
Good.
What are realistic expectations for Carson Wentz in this week? First game starting.
I mean, he hasn't had reps all
Right.
off season with the number ones. He's going to be rusty, but if you're an Eagles organization, you've given him enough time. You've let him heal. You've let him rest. You got to let him work through it. So if it means
It hasn't even been a full calendar year.
it hasn't. But if your doctor says he's ready and he's
Right.
ready to go, then
Right.
you trust that.
Right.
You got to let him work through the rust because it's going to be there.
It's all mental. It's not physical because I can promise you that.
Oh,
His
yeah, for
ACL
sure.
is all right. It's that
sure.
it's that mental block.
Talk about
Am I
it.
okay?
Talk about it.
Yeah, I'm doing things that I didn't think I was ever going to be able to do yet, and
In a mentality standpoint of, am I okay to do this? Can I
Yeah.
make this
Better
cut?
for Los
Can I make
Angeles.
this throw? Can I do this? I mean, it makes sense.
We're going to get into matchups here in a minute.
How about stat wise? Like, do you expect
who are they playing?
they're playing Indy?
Oh, he's gonna have a great game.
Yeah?
Indy's defense is one of the worst ones this year. They're giving up a lot of points.
And they got him ranked 9th best defense, but I don't know what that's absolutely based off of.
I don't know. Cincinnati blew them out. Joe Mixon had 100 yards rushing. AJ Green had a great game. Even Andy Dalton had a good game. And when you let Andy Dalton,
Return to the Red Rifle.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe it's raining in Philly, so that's good for my running back, Carson Wentz. I don't know how that's going to play out for you.
That's a little
and
nerve.
Jeffrey's still out.
Yeah.
Alshon. I mean,
They don't have a timetable on him yet.
no. I think they purposely did that because they didn't want to put him on the PUP list because they didn't know what was going to happen to him. So now if they keep him here, they can.
It's
that's
better
tough.
to have him.
Yeah,
not knowing if he's going to play
available.
than not available.
I think it
for
was
6
still going to
weeks.
be the 6 games.
Yeah.
It's going to still end up being something like that.
Yep.
Especially his shoulder. As a wide receiver, you're using their shoulder all the time.
But as far as like Carson Wentz goes, I think he's going to have a decent game, but he's missing a lot of weapons in this game particularly.
Yeah. Jay.
You're happy about that one.
Jack
I
Doyle.
know. That's
Doyle.
what I'm saying.
John has no tight end. John had Delaney Walker, and now he has Jack Doyle.
And they're both out.
Both out. Sorry, that's our fantasy talk real quick.
Oh, we're getting to that later.
That's a tangent. That's off tangent real quick.
We're getting to that. But like most of his high powered weapons are out. So I do think that he's going to have a serviceable game, mainly because the Colts defense is that bad. But you're not going to see vintage mid-season Carson Wentz like you did last year.
No.
And there's a lot of factors. But I think if he has 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, that's a great comeback for him.
Yeah. I mean, 250 yards, probably
Yeah.
something around there.
I think
if it's raining, they're not going to be.
Anything in a W, I think, will help his confidence, You
You got anything you want to add to that, Joe?
Yeah, I need Fournette to play.
I knew this TV was going to be suspect.
No, it's good, bro.
It's
good.
not terrible
good.
because we're seeing this stuff live.
It's good.
At
At least everything's not scripted that we talk about.
Did you guys want to? Because it's been a whole week. Did you guys want to talk about Packers Vikings in the back call? I mean, it's been beat like by a dead horse, and I feel like I've talked about it all week.
I mean, it was a bad call, yes.
It
but
was.
how many bad calls have been in the league already this year? A lot.
A lot.
I mean, yeah.
There's a lot of bad calls.
This one had
Pass interference.
Roughing the
Passer.
I think
on third down.
Right.
3rd and 15, you're
And
getting roughing the passer quarterback.
not only in crunch time as well, bro. I mean, plays that are extending that offense to get another chance. It happened against the Bears. Clay Matthews. They converted that 4th down, and the Bears got another chance.
that one I think was legitimate. not to be a homer, but I do think that one was legitimate. But the one that Clay did last week, it was a phantom call. It was an absolute phantom call.
What do you expect him to do in that situation?
Exactly.
He literally tackled him right as he was throwing the ball.
Apparently, just let him go.
He didn't even dig him into the ground. He put his hands down. I mean,
the best of his ability.
There was a roughing the passer call, and I can't give you the name because I can't remember. The man hit him with his arms at his side because he let go of the ball and just kind of nudged into him, and his arms were literally dead at his side, and they called the passer roughing the passer. And he looked over at him like, I didn't even have my arms out. How is
and this makes it really tough on defenses because unintended consequence of this is you're going to have defensive players let up instead of securing.
And quarterbacks
sack.
know that they can stand in the pocket a little bit longer.
Exactly. So you're gonna see guys get away with passes that should have been sacks, that should have been strips, and whatever the case may be.
Or interceptions because they put that hand in the face or they pressured the quarterback.
Especially some of these older quarterbacks who are okay. Well, now if I take this hit, at least I'm getting a call instead of 5 years ago. I'm
Peyton
taking
Manning would have been even better because that man used to drop to his knees when the pressure used to come.
Bro.
Peyton Manning was the biggest pussy I've ever seen in the pocket, and that's why people are like, why do you always hated Peyton Manning? Because I've seen him drop to his knees like my girlfriend does when pressure comes.
Bang bang.
Am I wrong?
I mean, when
I can't speak on that, but yeah.
About 7-8 years ago, me and you would have argued about this for sure. But now, how do you disagree?
I've seen so many times. That's why I always like Tom Brady because people will talk shit about Tom Brady, but he will step up in that pocket and sling that bitch if the pressure is there. Maybe not now because he's 8 years old, you know. But even when Peyton Manning was young, he would fall because he didn't want to take the hit. Like, bro, you are a quarterback with a big old melon. You could take that hit.
Big old long
Deion
melon, boy.
Bro, he's like from the South drinking farm water, eating crazy-ass wrestling cows all his life. He's supposed to be strong. And he's not. He can't even take a hit. That's why he's a quarterback.
Yeah.
He won.
Yeah. Sorry, I just had to put that one out there
bro.
about him.
So now you all know how AK feels about Peyton Manning.
Oh,
if you didn't already know.
Yeah. I've not been a fan of Peyton Manning forever. And, people always talk about how great he is, but why do the San Diego Chargers continuously eliminate him from the playoffs? And who they lose to? Tom Brady, the GOAT.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The GOAT.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, definitely.
GOAT, Justin. The GOAT, Justin.
I don't disagree with anything that you just said.
I like this, though, right here.
Halloween.
I can't wait to watch that.
Dude, I'm such a Michael Myers fan.
Yeah, me too.
So let's get into
fuck that scary shit.
Let's get into some week 3 matchups. Let's start with, we already kind of mentioned it before, Chiefs versus Niners. Patrick Mahomes is riding a high. The 49ers defense is nothing to write home about. Not terrible, but nothing to write home about. And then you've got Jimmy Garoppolo, who struggled in his first 2 weeks coming off of a really good end of the season last year.
Yeah.
So 2 quarterbacks going in very different directions, which was probably flip-flop the expectations at the beginning of the season.
I got the upset.
You calling for the Niners?
Matt Breida has the most rushing yards in the league. Look what James Conner did to the Kansas City week 1, 139 yards, 2 touchdowns. Matt Breida can easily come in there and duplicate that.
Definitely.
To be completely honest, yeah, Big Ben had that one good game last week, but the game before that, how many interceptions did he throw? 7, 6?
It was only 3.
He fumbled it 2 times. So he has 5 takeaways, 5 turnovers. 5 turnovers. They're playing in better weather conditions. I think that the 49ers could potentially pull it off. I think Jimmy, I think he'd do it because Kansas City defense is trash.
32nd in the league.
32nd in the league. Kansas City defense is. So you're telling me this, and then you're giving.
The fuck is Eric Berry even doing?
He hasn't really been playing.
I know.
I don't think he wants to be there anymore.
I'm figuring that out.
Yeah, they're 2-0, but like we said, they didn't play any teams with good defenses.
True.
It's almost a deceiving 2-0.
Yes, very, very, and it's like we always say, the first few weeks of football are always, and not just fantasy football, but football as a whole is always very fluky because people come out living a little higher than they should be, and then they come down.
Some players don't come in and really get into it until week 4, 5, 6, and they're like, okay, I'm settled in. I'm ready to do this now.
And more so the good teams, they realize it's a marathon.
Like the Patriots.
Right.
Like we said last year when they got blown out by KC in the very beginning of the year. And then look who did better, KC or the Patriots?
Who was there at the end of the year?
Patriots.
They won that Super Bowl, I think, that year. The year that the Kansas City Chiefs blew them out.
No, it was last year.
This was
Oh,
last
okay.
year.
I'm talking about a couple years ago.
They lost to the.
They lost like 47 to like 20 or
Yeah,
something.
it was bad.
It was terrible.
They were talking about the end of the Belichick Brady era.
Yes, exactly. And then boom, what'd they do? Go to the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just being biased because I really don't like Kansas City at all. Plus, they're in the division with the Chargers, and I like the Chargers. So,
Let your bias show.
so yeah, I'm calling
You're
upset on
calling
that.
for the upset. So I'm gonna ask Joe his pick yet. Before I do that, I have to point out me and Joe were god awful last week.
Yeah, we were terrible
picking.
with picks.
So me and Joe didn't even go. We didn't even stay the same for all of our picks. Neither of us were right.
Because the one that we were
Went oppo?
opposite on, it was a tie.
Yeah. So we went 0 for whatever last week. So
I have my own podcast. It's AK podcast right here. Just this guy right here, quarantined off over here.
he's going to talk about space and stuff.
Space and sports, baby.
So with that, no pressure, Joe.
I mean, I do like his insight on the game. Matt Breida, I mean, he is leading the league. Chiefs do have a terrible fucking defense. But I'm just going to
Going safe pick. Just go safe. Just go the safe pick.
I don't know if I
KC's
want to,
at-
though,
KC's
because
at home,
I know,
though.
but I like the way you broke it down, though. You pick first.
You want me to pick first?
Yeah, you
Okay.
pick first.
I'm gonna ride the Patrick Mahomes wave. I'm gonna see.
Because I like the underdog argument.
Somebody's got to be right on this damn show. I don't care if it's AK at this point.
Can I pick a tie?
Hey, you can as many as there has been this year. It's the first time there's been, 2 ties in the first 6 weeks since like 1950 something?
Yeah.
Or
Legit.
40 something? I think,
Yep.
I think you're right. I think it's the 40s.
If there's a tie this week, I don't know what to
If it's this game, I'll be like, God damn it! You convinced me to go with San Francisco, bro. You really did. I was gonna go with KC just because 2-0, Patrick Mahomes, but I like it, bro. I'm going with San Francisco. I'm riding the AK train today,
Ride the AK train then. Next matchup,
bro. We got them all wrong last week, bro.
I know.
Even the one that we picked different.
Yes.
Some gotta give, bro.
Might be the sole reason why I go Oppo all these games.
Man.
Just every game's a tie this week. Every game.
So Josh Gordon questionable. That's interesting. So I'm gonna let you take the lead on this next one, Joe. We got Saints versus Falcons.
We need Mark Ingram back, like, right now.
The rush game's not.
It's terrible.
Alvin Kamara's putting up numbers for the passing game. Not
Huge
rushing.
numbers. He's got 75 rush yards this year.
Yeah.
I think as a team, hold on, you ready for this? Let's see. As a team, we have 102 rushing yards through 2 games.
Average 100 rushing yards a game, which that doesn't
No.
sound bad.
102
Two
yards
for a
for
whole.
both games.
So you're talking about 50,
averaging
51
100.
yards. No, 51
51
yards
a
a
game.
game.
Oh, I thought you said 200. My bad.
Kamara has 75. Gillislee has 27.
Okay. That's atrocious.
Receiving yards is a different story.
Right.
Oh, they're receiving all over the place.
Yeah.
Michael Thomas is looking like a stud.
28 receptions already this year. 28.
How many touchdowns?
And I didn't draft him.
3. He has 3.
I drafted him.
I mean, it's
Who your running backs?
It's Saints Falcons. I mean, it's always
Kamara's getting a bunch of receptions, you jackass.
yeah, a bunch, dude. He's saving
Hey,
you.
who drafted Greg Olson?
I drafted Greg Olsen.
Oh, okay. Who's your tight end?
Jared Cook.
What did you do last week?
Last week he only got 8 points.
Ask
We'll
him what.
expect it again.
Bro, give it back to him.
Yeah.
He had that great week 1, and
I'm not
then
worried about it.
212. And
You
then
know
you
what?
got,
No, I'm
you
not-
got D-Mob
I'm not-
killing
I-
everything.
Fuck it. You know what? I was going to wait. You were matched up this week in fantasy, so I don't care. Let's see.
Yeah, all right.
Eh.
We're going to see.
Joe's matched up against D-Mob.
fuck this house.
It's the battle of the
Burning this
houses.
bitch to the ground if they win.
Especially if they both win.
I'm coming to get this stuff, and then I'm burning the bitch
Yeah.
down.
Podcast at Joe and AK's house next week.
Yeah.
Sore losers.
Joe and AK show.
Yeah.
With Zach's equipment. Hey, how you work this stuff, bro?
Zach, we need help.
Yeah. Good luck. Good luck getting me to help.
So are you gonna go your team? Are you going?
You
to
know
your
I'm
heart?
going with the Saints.
I mean, the Falcons still have red zone issues.
Big time. This is Drew Brees and Matt Ryan's 20th game against each other, bro.
Damn.
Right. Saints rushing is terrible, though. I mean, if Drew Brees hasn't thrown an interception this year, but he's throwing at an 81% clip, too. So he's playing good.
Oh, yeah, no,
He's-
Drew Brees is...
He's playing a lot better than I would expect Drew Brees to start. I would have figured at least a couple interceptions by now.
I think their game plan going into this first four games of the season was
Pass.
we have to go back to the old way that we
But
used
see,
to play.
like, I was trying to get Mark Ingram out of AK, for fantasy, and he's like, bro, he comes back week 4 or week 5.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have a bye week 6.
He comes back. He comes back week 5. Then you guys have a bye week 6. So technically, you're not really going to get
So
him until week
he
7.
might not really get going until week 9.
Yeah, it's tough.
And that's tough to expend
Big time.
players. Someone
time.
relevant for me to give you.
Right.
In all reality, because
Right.
I'm not going to give him up for a bag of chips. Because he's not going to be back till week 8. No, I can use him at week 8.
You can use him for the playoff run,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, I was going to say that's
For
week 8, week 9.
us
That's when it
as
gets
a
real.
team, as the Saints, it's Drew Brees and Michael Thomas and Kamara, and they're gonna have to get us through.
I think they're going to win. You got to look at the Falcons' depleted defense.
Oh, big time.
You lost your starting safety for the year. You lost your starting middle linebacker for 10 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
You got two obviously backups in there in those two positions.
Yep.
Atlanta's not looking so hot defensively, and their offense, I mean,
It's hit or miss, dude.
It's hit. You got Devontae Freeman out now too.
Yep.
Another
Second
week.
week in a row.
Second week in a row. So you're doing it by one running back, and they've always lived by the backfield by committee, and they've always made it work.
Right.
Kevin Ridley's coming to show that he is the new number
He
2
is,
in that.
yeah.
Mohamed Sanu, unfortunately,
Yeah,
is getting
took a
dropped
step
down.
back.
But Matt Ryan is,
Julio in the red zone.
yeah. You know
bad.
what? It's crazy because you look at his, what is it? His wide receiver target share. He's leading the pack with 39%.
Julio is.
Yeah, so he's getting targeted almost 40% a game over everybody. And Michael Thomas is getting targeted 38. So they're 1 and 2. So it's going to be interesting to see both of them play like that. But I think the Saints are going to do it. In all reality, that's just me, and that's not me being biased because you're a Saints fan. But
Right.
let's be honest. I don't like the Falcons. I think they're on the big decline. They missed their window.
Their window
big
closed
time window.
fast.
Oh man,
And
you can't miss your window any worse than they did.
no.
Well, until they got to the Super Bowl, Matty Ice couldn't win a
Playoff
playoff
game.
game.
No, he couldn't. He couldn't at all.
So that window was open and then closed in the same
It was
minute.
literally you open it to let the fly out and then
For
you
real.
close it right back.
Swear,
That's literally
bro.
how it was. You didn't open
Legit.
it for a breezy day.
Legit.
So yeah, I think the Saints are going to do it. I think they're going to start pulling away, hopefully from that pack. Because I just think in all reality, defense isn't very good though.
No.
Defense is very
no.
bad, but
Which is surprising because they
had
took
a
a
great
lot of
defense.
steps. Yeah, last year.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I'm not saying it, but you guys get rid of Kenny Vaccaro.
I'm with you, bro. He
And-
was one of my favorite players.
And look at it now. He was your quarterback of that secondary, of that whole entire defense,
Big
and you
time.
guys let him go.
Big time.
You guys let him go in free agency.
Bye.
That's all you guys did. For who? Who's starting?
The motherfucking sorry ass bitch that made us lose against the fucking Vikings.
Talk about it, Joe.
God damn it. And I hate blaming it on one person. You know what I mean? I really do, but bruh.
Sometimes it's that easy to blame it on one
Bruh.
person because it's that you can look at the exact play.
Like, bruh.
I'm against my better judgment. I am gonna stick with you guys and go with the Saints in this game. I'm not a fan of the Falcons. The red zone issues are really hard to get over.
The red zone issues with a player like Julio is just
Yeah.
like,
If you can't do it with Julio, you just can't do it.
No. And it hurts. You look at the Saints without Mark Ingram. They're,
Right.
they're
Absolutely.
second back to the backfield of committee.
we are
They're Thunder and Lightning.
32nd rushing team in the league.
And so you have that. You basically have the same. You honestly have identical teams right now.
Legit.
But the Saints are better at scoring in the red zone. They know how to. They find ways into.
Yeah,
the
Michael
zone.
Thomas is just he's an absolute monster. Andrew,
But
Brees
Julio's
is
supposed to be that.
He is, but I think it's some of it is Matt Ryan. I think ball placement. It kind of comes down to that because Julio's big, 6'3". He can jump.
boy.
Michael Thomas is just as big as he is. Yeah. So you're telling me Michael Thomas has 28 receptions, and I couldn't even tell you how many Julio Jones has.
Not that many.
Not that many.
got
So it's funny because they're
got
very identical teams. Poor defense. Passing game's pretty good. Running the backfield relies on a thunder and lightning type backfield. Mm-hmm. And the quarterbacks is where I feel that
The difference
New Orleans takes that cake because Drew Brees, let's be honest,
He's got 15 for 233.
and Michael Thomas has 28.
He's got half the receptions.
Yes. So I just feel that it's going to be the New Orleans Saints. And you know what? It's a division game. Drew Brees is going to be Drew Brees.
Yeah.
He's going to fuck around and have 400 yards.
We got to get that game back when we lost to Tampa Bay. So I think this is a must
and
win
even
for
then,
us.
that was week one. It was
Yeah,
to a
absolutely.
team that's extremely hot. And nobody knew what was going to happen because they had a different quarterback in there. And
Thought it was gonna be cakewalk.
yeah,
honestly.
and
Oh,
honestly,
I definitely thought it was going to be a cakewalk.
So why don't we transition talking about that cakewalk? Ryan Fitzmagic versus the Steelers. Monday Night Football. I was gonna save
Tampa
this
Bay.
one for last.
I got Tampa.
Tampa Bay. We're on a bashing the Steelers train right now, though. So let me and AK stay on that.
Don't let our
Yeah,
Vic,
pick
you guys have been
influence
bashing. You guys have been bashing.
You
the
go
Steelers all
ahead
week.
and pick
I'm
the
very
Bucks,
much
but me and him are on this train for a little while.
I picked
right?
the Steelers last week because I made that game a must win. I said it's tough to call it a must win in week 2, but I said they kind of need to show up in this game. If they do not show up in this game, fuck if Le'Veon Bell comes back. Their season's damn near over. You don't have a win yet.
I mean, realistically though, is it Le'Veon? Because
No, it's not.
James Conner. I mean,
Defense.
like we were talking about.
Defense. Yeah.
Le'Veon might be a product of that system and environment, bro.
Yeah, it's for Le'Veon and his contract situation going forward. Connor's not doing him any favors because he does look like a system running back now. The Steelers offensively, Big Ben needs to stop turning the ball over, but offensively they are more than capable.
They still put up numbers.
Yeah, they
It's
still
a
put up numbers.
yeah.
With the turnovers, they still put up
he didn't have a lot of turnovers last week. He had what did he throw last week? Like 350 yards for like 4 touchdowns, and I don't even think he had. I think he had maybe 1 interception. Great week last week, but defense.
The game was
Cleveland
close.
scored 21 points. Cleveland scored 21 points against your defense.
Tyrod.
With Tyrod.
Yeah.
With Tyrod.
I don't care anymore.
And
It's
I
not
only think he threw like I'm
Big Ben was 39 for 60, 450, 3 tutties, no turnovers.
no turnovers, but
60 attempts.
When they played Cleveland scored twice on defense.
Mm-hmm.
So
Big Ben is on pace to throw his arm off.
yeah, well
And that scares me because I need
He's
AB.
injury prone to begin with.
but he doesn't go out.
Yeah, he doesn't miss
plays.
games.
He
Yeah,
plays.
yeah.
He plays. He'll play through it. But I think Steelers it's a big concern for them right now. I think it's really tough because Cincinnati is 2-0. Cleveland's looking better. Baltimore and Pittsburgh, they're a toss-up on who's better and who's not.
Mm-hmm.
So you're telling me you're at the bottom of the barrel that division already? Without your starting running back, which we all say that could be a thing, but James Conner is no Le'Veon Bell, let's be honest.
No,
in the sense of the
absolutely.
passing game.
You're
Running,
right. Absolutely.
yes.
Absolutely.
But the passing game, Le'Veon he is a freak of nature.
The reason they're winless has nothing to do with their offense. We can agree with that.
No,
right?
no. I mean, their offense could have put up more than 21 points against
True.
Cleveland.
Yeah.
Let's
True.
be honest.
Because you get Le'Veon in the open field, you don't know what
but
he's
the
going to do.
KC game,
Right.
the KC game was a shootout, and they lost.
It wasn't even close. They
Lost by 5 points.
Oh,
They lost by it was 48-37 or 42-37, I thought, or was
Yeah,
it
42-37.
42-37? But that's your defense. Your defense gave up 42 points.
you can't
win.
overcome that.
I don't care who you are.
No.
You-
Because that means you got to put up 43.
Yeah, that's a lot.
It's a lot of points.
Okay. So
Earl Thomas to the Chiefs.
But
still, Pittsburgh defense is they're probably ranked in the bottom of the barrel. They got to be. Maybe not rushing, but the pass game, their passing defense is atrocious.
yeah. So with
you
that, Ryan Fitzpatrick has been playing like magic. Jameis Winston's suspension is up after this game. It's tough to put him back in with what Ryan Fitzpatrick has done already. The thing is that though, he's going to come back to earth. He always does, and usually when he comes back to earth, he goes way below and starts playing as bad as he was good.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing that's going to stop, I think, Ryan Fitzpatrick from losing his job. But I think in this game particularly, Ryan Fitzpatrick is set up to have another
he's
really
gonna have a
good
monstrous
game.
game. I feel bad for Joe. He's playing D-Mob that has Deshaun Jackson this weekend.
Hey, fantasy football.
Deshaun Jackson, and the thing is
He's eating.
I think if Winston comes back, Deshaun Jackson is going to be pissed because Winston doesn't sling the ball downfield like he does.
He was frustrated all last year because he couldn't get the ball deep.
Yeah.
Deshaun Jackson is a deep
That's all
ball
he is.
receiver.
That's all he is.
Yeah.
He's a deep
All he
threat.
is.
And
I mean, you can catch him like quick slants, but that's not where he's effective.
Nope. No. So I'm going against Pittsburgh. They're terrible.
Every week that I can, I'm going against Pittsburgh.
I have a hard time picking Pittsburgh. I really do. So I'm going to go with you guys on this one too. I'm going to go with the Bucks. So next game, we're going to go to Bears Cardinals because we are a Chicago-based podcast. I'm sorry, AK, but this is just what we got to do. The Cardinals have looked atrocious. They've scored 6 points in 2 weeks total.
You know how many red zone red zone attempts they've had this year?
No.
2.
They've been to the red zone twice this year.
Which is where the 2 field goals come from, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
So they've
That's
looked
bad.
dumpster fire. Bruce Arians is gone. Carson Palmer is gone. And it looks terrible. Sam Bradford, who we all have faith
David
in.
Johnson's coming back from an injury.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff that I don't think that we all accounted for being for the Cardinals to be this bad. Once again, only week 2. There's still time. They do have a rookie quarterback waiting in the wings, which very well may see the field today. But
yeah. They just had up there that if they release him or if he's inactive, Sam Bradford, and they release him, they save $8 million.
well, he gets a $350,000 game bonus for every game he's active. Just active.
That's crazy.
So if you're not going to play him, you got to cut him.
Yeah.
For Sam Bradford.
Absolutely.
You got a rookie, you might as well go with him. Mm-hmm. Because Sam Bradford, in all reality, I've always liked Sam Bradford. I wish he would have never got hurt.
Yeah.
But it's just his
He's
time.
he's not in a winning system. Put him in New England, and he's going to win some games because that's a system to win. This is not a system to win, unfortunately. So you put a
Without
older,
Bruce Arians, yeah, no.
bad need quarterback in there. Yeah, I'm sorry, but you got no love.
So me and Joe were talking about it before you got here, AK.
Y'all better beat the shit out of the Cardinals.
Yeah. For the Bears,
I got the Cardinals.
You're 1-1.
You got a 7th-ranked
I'll see,
defense.
sorry.
You got a 7th-ranked defense going against a 32nd offense. You better stick it to them.
They need to eat. They need to feast on Sam Bradford.
And then you got a 29.
Khalil Mack's going to be in the backfield so much that he might as well be the starting quarterback.
And then you got the Bears' 29th ranked offense going against the Cardinals' 28th ranked defense. So you're kind of
If there is a moment
equally
for the Bears
bad there.
offense, if there's a moment for the Bears offense to start to look good, it's now. Get some kind of continuity, whatever the case may be. But as far as the defense, defense
Jordan Howard
needs
needs to
to
go crazy.
own. The defense needs to own this game from start to finish. I don't.
Jordan
wanna
Howard
see,
needs to go crazy, huh,
Jordan
Zach?
Howard, yeah, Jordan Howard does need to go crazy.
You know, he's already got a quarter of the amount of receptions as he had last year in 2 games.
He has gotten a lot better.
He already has 8 receptions this year, and he had 23 last year.
He has gotten a lot better at that. He
Matt
looks
Nagy
better.
promised that he was going to make him the every down back, and that's exactly what he's doing.
That kind of takes away some of the question marks that you have, or most of the question marks that you have with Jordan Howard, because he can block. Obviously, he's good rushing the ball, so that was the only thing that he was missing. And he can run the routes. He just couldn't catch the ball.
Yeah.
So now if he can catch the ball, that makes him, you don't have to
lot
take him
more
off
dangerous.
the field. Yeah, definitely. So,
And it's less predictable. It's like with Fournette. And that's why I think TJ Yeldon makes them so much better of a team because they are so much more unpredictable when you have TJ Yeldon in. Same thing with Jordan Howard now because you had Jordan Howard in last year. Well,
You expect
it's
to
either
rush.
going to be a run or he's just going to block.
yeah.
Or they're not going to pass to him.
But you have to account for him.
Yes, now you have to. So now they don't even have to throw Cohen in because you know what I'm saying, you keep Jordan Howard and it's like third down.
I've seen them line him up as a receiver a couple times.
Special
Yes.
packages for Cohen. Yeah.
You know, so it's like that helps a lot with the offense. I think, I mean, the Bears are going to win. Let's be honest. Bears are going to win. I don't think it's going to be a high-scoring game. It's probably going to be like 24 to
14.
0.
I'll be honest.
I think it might be a shutout. I really think it could be a shutout.
If the Cardinals double their points that they have for the entire season this week, I might be pissed. If they score 14, I'm going to be pissed.
Yeah,
I'd be pissed if they scored I would be pissed if they scored a single point. You guys have one of the best defenses in the league, and if you guys let them, a team that has had they've gone to the red zone one time each game, if you want to look at it like that. If they go to the red zone once with you guys, it's a failure. And you guys will still win. No. But
I don't disagree with him at all.
That's just harsh
and
reality.
I'm not talking shit, but
that's harsh reality.
Look who were their last
You're
two
right,
opponents.
bro.
Pull up who their last two opponents were, because I want to see who they've been to the red zone against.
And in all honesty, the Bears, they're coming down a lot for their level of competition as far as quarterbacks go. You played Aaron Rodgers, you played Russell Wilson. It's different now.
And then you're playing.
These are guys that make something out of
Okay.
nothing all the time.
Week 1, they lost 6-24 to the Redskins.
Redskins do have the best defense in the league right now. I don't know if any of you guys know this, but they do.
I didn't.
Yes.
Let's see. Week number 2,
They played the Rams,
and got shut out. 34-0.
a team that we expect to have one of the best defenses.
So they played. So in their defense, they got lined up against probably the 3 worst defenses they could potentially
To start
played
the season.
To
To
start,
yeah.
Because Josh Norman locked down Larry Fitzgerald, and outside of Larry Fitzgerald, who they have? Nobody. David Johnson hasn't been doing a diddly of anything.
Poop.
And then they played
He's pooping.
Now they're
the super team defense that we've all been.
the Rams with the 2 best shutdown corners in the league, pretty much. And then
two,
you have
and 2 of the
Sue
best
and
defensive
Aaron
tackles.
Donald.
Yeah.
Yes, you have no love, and then now you got to go face
That
Khalil Mack.
The Bears.
And that entire defensive line.
The Bears.
Yeah, it's
The Bears.
I think the Bears win 104 to 0. The Bears.
all right. So I'm riding with the Bears because
I think we're all going with the Bears. I'll slap Joe if he says the Cardinals.
Oh, no, there's no fucking way.
All right, so last matchup that we're going to talk about, and then we're going to talk some fantasy bullshit, is Rams Chargers, the battle for LA. AK, do your Chargers have a chance?
I mean, that's a pretty solidly even matchup. Chargers 5th ranked offense, Rams 9th. Rams 3rd defense, Chargers 8th.
On paper, looks
Rams, yeah, on paper, it's looking pretty fucking even.
could have been matchup of the week.
Passing, 12th goes to the Rams, 4th goes to the Chargers.
Oh,
and
Philip Rivers is on fire. He's like
and-
the 3rd best completion
And
percentage this
rushing,
year.
12th goes to the Chargers, and 14th goes to the Rams.
Is that Rams defensive line going to be able to get the pressure necessary to bother Philip Rivers?
Everybody gets pressure to Philip Rivers in all reality. It's the fact that he's got Melvin Gordon
The
to
dump
where
off.
you can't you can dump off and you can't blitz that linebacker, because if you leave Melvin Gordon open for a pass or even their backup. I saw somebody picked him up.
Who?
I don't know. But
You?
no, I didn't pick up his backup quarterback.
No.
I think it was D-Mob. But it's going to be tough. I want to say the Chargers, because obviously I'm very biased to the Chargers because I love Philip Rivers. And clearly he's on my fantasy football team, and so is Keenan Allen.
Got a little bit invested in this game.
But I don't know. But in all reality, the Rams defense hasn't really been tested. The Cardinals aren't testing them. So yeah, that they're 8th best. The
Raiders.
The Chargers played Kansas City, one of the best offenses so far this year, and they're still ranked, what, 8th in total defense, you said?
Who's that?
The Chargers?
Yes.
8th in total defense. So I trust those numbers more than the Rams at number 4.
Just because of who they played.
Because of who they played.
Who did the Chargers play last week?
They played KC week 1, and then they played Buffalo last week. Buffalo's defense, though, if you look at their defense.
But I'm talking about for the Chargers' defensive numbers.
Yeah, Buffalo, but look at what, I mean, Kansas City only scored 32, 34 points on them. I mean, it's still a lot, but in the sense of you played a quarterback that's the best in the league right now, with the best wide receiver in the league, basically. You know what I'm saying? So, it's a tie.
It's a tie.
It's a tie. I can't pick, man, because I like the Rams too. But you know what? Who's at home?
The Rams. Well, they're both.
Well, it's in LA.
You know what I mean. You know what I mean. But who's the home team technically?
Don't they both play in the Coliseum too?
Yeah,
Yes,
they do.
that's what I'm saying.
The Rams are
who gets to
listed
have
as
the home game?
the Rams are listed as the home team.
So what's the score? What is it? How many points?
That doesn't.
It doesn't have a
spread
pull
here.
out?
No.
I want to pull that up because
Even tie.
So fuck.
they just say just go for the tie, buddy. That's your best bet.
Vegas is going with the tie.
Where is that game at? I don't even see it. I'm trying to look for it. It's literally not. It's not, that's. I was looking at the Falcons. Freaking dodo, I am. It's 7 points.
The Rams are
Rams?
giving
7
the
points,
Chargers
Vegas?
7 points.
That's
a bet for Vegas.
Smash the button on the Chargers for that game. It's
Yeah.
gonna be way closer than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Call
you
your
know what? Just
bookie.
because
Get
of that,
that in,
I'm going
dude.
Chargers. Just
Call
'cause-
your bookie. Get that in, dude.
Hold on, let me
For real.
That's some text messages real quick. Hold on.
Wow.
Yeah. And you know they're only giving Green Bay 2.5, or we're giving the Redskins 2.5 points
Against Green.
against Green Bay.
I'm taking Green Bay on that one. They'll win by more than a field
I
goal.
might. Yeah, I might.
Did this just turn into a gambling podcast?
Fuck it. It's legal in most places.
But yet they're giving like Baltimore 6. They're giving Denver 6 points
Against Baltimore.
against Baltimore. So you're telling me
Is it in Denver? This is the only way I'm
No,
okay
it's
with
in-
that.
it's in-
It's in Baltimore.
Yeah.
No, fuck out of here.
So yeah, but I'm gonna go Chargers. I'm going my biased opinion right here. I'm going with the Chargers because I have faith in Phillip Rivers and I think he's gonna have a monster game passing. And Melvin Gordon, you can't stop Melvin Gordon. Nobody can stop Melvin Gordon this year.
I'm going with the Chargers because I just don't want to see you in a bad mood later.
If you want to defeat the house, we got to have the Chargers win because that means Phillip Rivers and Keenan Allen are gonna have a good game.
Defeat
if
the house.
Yes.
Fuck O'Donohue. Mission Boulevard,
Hey,
bitch.
We say my street name wrong.
Screw the Jordan slash
the Jordan
Harper.
/ Harper Alliance.
Harper Alliance. The house of the mob and the Cerebral.
It's a good house. Damn good house. I
Go with the Rams. It's all right.
No, I am going with the Rams.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah, I mean, one, because I need Phillip Rivers to not have a good game. Fuck it, I don't care. So let's talk our fantasy matchups because we've teased it all podcast, but in all seriousness, I'm gonna talk shit even though I know it's too early. Fuck it. Me and D-Mob are the only two.
Y'all do not want the Dick Award, apparently.
No, we are serious about that shit. We don't want that shit in this house. Me and him talked about it. We don't want it in this house, whatever it takes. So, and I need
It's
to make the
looking like
playoffs.
John. It's looking like John because he's playing West this week, and if West wins, this is the battle of the two winless teams.
The two call with your dick out
They
award.
were
nominees.
number 1 and number 2 last year. Now they're number 1 and number 2 in losses this year in worse teams.
Well, in their division, because Chubbs had the best record last year, didn't he?
No, I'm saying John won it.
Oh, yeah.
Wesley came in
yeah,
second.
Okay, gotcha.
Wesley lost in the championship game. So you're telling me you went from the best and the best to the worst and the worst.
Hey, that Le'Veon hurt, don't it?
He said he wasn't worried at the beginning. Remember, he's like, I ain't worried. I'll be all right.
Ain't no problem.
Yeah.
Motherfucker. It's a
Marshawn
problem.
Lynch wasn't doing shit.
It's a problem.
Yeah.
It's a problem.
That's two major issues to your team.
I mean, Thursday night I was laying on the couch pissed because Bilal Powell driving down the
I almost
field.
woke this motherfucker up at about midnight when the game was over and slap him in the face and be like, look what Carlos Hyde did. He was fucking pissed. I ain't checking fantasy no more. Fuck fantasy. Fuck the money.
Wait.
Yes, that's
I
exactly.
was, bro. I'm not even gonna sit here.
Got
and
up
front
and
on
went
it.
upstairs, bro, and went to bed, bro.
Hold on. You're in charge of the money.
Yeah, he said, fuck the money. And it says, I don't give a fuck about my $75 or 70
Fuck
whatever.
this and fuck that donation. I
Yeah.
was pissed.
Yeah, pissed.
Because
and
Crowell got in for that second touchdown as Powell drove them down the field.
and then Carlos Hyde still has 2 touchdowns. And then he still wasn't happy about it. I said, how many points did he get you? 23? 25? Something around there?
23.
Need more.
I mean, like he did make a good point, though. 30 points out of my running backs could get a W, but
That's 15
that's me
apiece.
being greedy.
You
You're right.
look
You're
at
right.
Justin won last week and he had about 200 points. TJ Yeldon got him 5 points. Zeke had him about 18 only. So you're telling me you won with that? It's possible to win without that. You can win without certain players producing.
You right. Hey, bro. It happened.
Yeah, bro. Literally. That's my man's. But have a good game this week. About 400 yards.
Good game
Odell
this year.
Beckham with the cheetah jacket walking into the game.
He gonna have a good game this year.
This year?
That's what you
Bro,
just said.
what
are you?
He didn't have a good year this year.
Ryan Fitzmagic. Is he on anybody's team?
Yeah, Colin picked him up.
Okay.
Somebody had to
I was
pick
gonna
him
say
up.
somebody had to.
Colin
go for
picked
it.
him up.
That he's gonna fall.
I need Tyreek Hill and Deshaun Jackson to just not touch the ball this week.
don't. Speaking of the devil.
So fast.
So fast. But yeah, no, fantasy's been interesting.
It has
Like I said, you got
injuries suck.
the two number 1 and number 2 guys last year are
Battling.
0-2, and they're battling each other. I think that's the key matchup this week.
we should
I think that's the key matchup this
For
week.
that trophy, yeah, it is.
Whoever loses, we should just give him the dick award.
Like, bro, you're getting it, man. I'm
Sorry,
sorry,
bro.
Because we all thought Chubbs was going to start out 0 forever.
Well, yeah, because we were going off of our fantasy draft rankings, and
We looked at his team, bro. Let's be honest.
You're right.
Let's be honest. We looked at his team and we're like, holy, your second best wide receiver is Sammy Watkins.
Scary.
That is very, very. We all know what Sammy Watkins doesn't do, and that's produce realistically. So yeah, no, it's quite interesting. I mean, all these injuries. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but the injuries are just.
Minus Greg Olsen, the injuries have honestly worked more in my favor than against.
I definitely have a significant injury in each one of my 3 leagues.
I have 2 significant injuries in this league, in the only league I play. 2 defensive players. Yeah. 2 stud defensive players. Not even my second pick. It was my second and my third defensive players taken.
With the way we did our keepers, my first pick is gone. Because I had Antonio Brown as my keeper, and then my first draft pick that I made was McKinnon.
Oh, yeah.
But that's peanuts compared to losing. Nah, it's just,
I mean, you look at Bell is rough because you have zero idea.
Wes
what
lost
the
his
fuck
keeper.
but that's all. He could have kept somebody else. He knew the situation going into
D-Hop.
it. Yes, it's exactly, bro.
Keep D-Hop.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, when you have DeAndre Hopkins and Le'Veon Bell in that situation, maybe
because if you really do want Le'Veon, yeah, you probably won't be able to necessarily draft him where he was at in the draft order, but
He could have still more. The thing is what we talked about. If he would have kept D-Hop, more running backs would have scooted down to him. Mm-hmm. Because there would have been an
Somebody
extra
else.
running back on the fucking table.
Because somebody
And who
would have
knows?
taken him.
D-Mob might have kept Le'Veon.
right.
You never know. So then that frees up.
But he
somebody would
also-
have somebody would have taken David Johnson.
Not as a keeper though, because the way we had it set up, Dion had no idea who was captain.
I
who
know, but
wasn't,
I'm just saying if
You're
he
right.
would have picked like
Yep.
that. But even then, say D-Mop still keeps David Johnson and West keeps D-Hop. Colin might have taken David Johnson. He might have taken David Johnson, or he might have. He would have kept David Johnson because
No, Colin was real strong on not taking a number 1. Remember, he didn't want to take anybody.
But
that was the first
outside
round.
of D-Hop,
You're right.
Who would he have taken?
Could have kept anybody because
He could have.
when I was talking to him, he said, "I'm not taking anybody that was drafted in the first round. I want my first round."
If
pick."
Le'Veon Bell was there,
I'm sure
he probably would have taken Le'Veon Bell.
he
Let's be
wouldn't have
honest.
known though either. Until
No. But I'm saying even in the draft,
'Cause-
even in the draft,
right.
if Le'Veon Bell was available,
he would have took him instead of Julio.
I think so.
Le'Veon was going to go in the first round.
Saquon was going number 1 regardless in our league.
I don't know. John
think
made
John would've
mention.
took Le'Veon?
Yes, John made mention that if Le'Veon's there,
That
he
means
is taking
Saquon would
him.
have fell to you. Don't ever wink at me again.
No, would I have taken him?
I will say
It's
this
tough.
for as far as like our league is concerned, Saquon Barkley is a surefire can't miss player simply because of whenever Eli gets in trouble, that little dump off.
The man had
that's a
14
point.
receptions.
That's a point every
He
time.
had 14 receptions alone last week.
Yep.
14 receptions.
And then
14
everything else he
receptions.
does is a bonus at that point.
Yep.
You get 14 points out of your running back.
Yep.
You're on the right path.
Yeah, it's very interesting because Chubbs is riding this Mahomes wave right now, and
Riding it.
he's gonna start him, and it's gonna be the week that he shouldn't have started him. And
But that's something you kind of got to go with. Like you ride that horse until it dies. And I don't blame him.
no, I mean he's also got Kirk Cousins, which put up more points than Mahomes did last week.
Did he really?
Yep. Mahomes only put up 43, and Cousins put up about 47. I
He
think.
only put up 43.
But
But no, you're right.
it's gonna be.
That's a good problem to have.
It's very interesting.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. You're projected to beat D-Map right now.
Yes.
You're projected to beat me now by like half a
No,
point.
no. You're projected to beat me by half a point right now.
Is it? No, it changed?
Yeah, you know how.
It's been back and forth.
I took somebody out too. I put in Kenny Galladay.
Oh, I'm literally
Point.
projected to beat you by half a point.
Yeah.
No, mine's saying.
I just looked at yours and said you're supposed to project to beat D-Map by 10 points.
These have to
I
be
was
lying,
saying
man.
that you're gonna score 162.5, and you got 160.8.
Mine was 162.
I'm looking at it right now. I just refreshed. It says 162. All right. Do we have anything otherwise we want to talk about? I mean, we kind of talked off camera. The Jimmy Butler one that we traded Karl Anthony Towns signing that
Oh yeah, we
Supermax.
gotta start talking basketball soon.
We could hold off because I mean that's a minor deal. The Jimmy Butler thing though, I think we all called. Tibbs' job in Minnesota is tied directly to Karl Anthony Towns. So if he leaves via free agency or has a major injury, they're going to put that on Tibbs. So signing him was kind of the only move that he had in that situation. And Jimmy Butler leaving, it was only a matter of time before Jimmy remembered that he couldn't stand Tibbs.
Yeah.
I mean that, and I feel like he's getting like his head's a little bigger than it should be.
Super deep.
Like, bro,
It's what it is you Chicago fans did that to him. Just like you
Absolutely.
guys do every single other player that comes to Chicago. Look at Jay Cutler. I'll always fall back to Jay Cutler. When you guys brought him here, everybody would have gargled his dick for the entire year if they could have. Because they said,
Yeah.
Jay Cutler, Jay Cutler, Jay Cutler, everything. So as you Chicago fans do that because you guys don't have no offense, besides the Bulls in the 90s and now the Cubbies as of late, you guys didn't have anything winning. So the little bit of anything you guys got, you guys hyped it up to more than anything. And that's what Jimmy did. You guys hyped up Jimmy a lot. He played good in Chicago, don't get me wrong, but you guys were like, Jimmy, the best shooting guard in the league. Jimmy is the best shooting guard in the league.
who are you referring
No,
to?
I'm just saying a lot
Okay.
of Chicago
'Cause
fans. I'm saying
everything you said refers to me not at all.
You
I'm not a
hyped up
Bears
Jimmy.
fan.
You like Jimmy.
I'm not a Bears fan.
no, I'm not saying the Bears, but you're a Cubbies fan.
And yeah,
So I'm saying, like, there are certain players that might be on the Cubs team now that are playing at a different level. Baseball is a little bit more individualistic because you're at bat by yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
You're not you're not ready.
Those numbers you can't
yes.
put on anybody else. Yeah.
But like basketball, for instance, I mean, Jimmy, you guys hyped up Jimmy.
I mean, at
And
one point
yes,
he was top 5 two-way player in the league.
Yes. So
Okay.
what I'm saying is, you guys, hyped him up because you guys are very diehard fans, Chicago Bulls fans. I'm gonna rephrase that. Chicago Bulls fans are extremely diehard.
Best and worst in the world.
Yes, exactly. So you go somewhere else, and he's expecting A, that kind of love probably,
Right.
and B, he's thinking that, all right, I'm still this good, but in all reality, it's like
He's not.
it was almost you were hyping yourself up to where you were playing at a whole different level.
The injury that he had last year hurt him a lot. And then
Ooh, and it's
Tibbs,
But even right before he was leaving Chicago, he wasn't playing that good.
No.
yeah,
It was.
no,
it
he
was.
wasn't.
No,
he
but
was
yeah,
mentally
and
not
at the-
there,
yeah,
and it was.
yeah.
I need to get out of this
yeah, he
situation.
was.
Yeah,
and
it
I think
was.
that it might be where he's at now, and where he was at
Yeah.
all last year. Maybe he, like you said, he realized, like, I don't fucking like Tibb. I liked him when I was young and I could do it.
because he gave me an opportunity.
Yes.
But now this dude's gonna ruin my career.
Yes, exactly.
Almost
so,
in a sense, Tibbs built him, and now he's breaking him down.
yeah.
Just like Tibbs did a lot of guys.
Yeah, Tibbs.
He's like, I brought you in this world, I can take you out, goddammit.
I'm your daddy.
Daddy now. Call me Mr. Butler.
I liked it when we first got Tibbs. I did, because it brought it brought that defensive mindset to a team that needed it, and now it's like, bro, you
run
aren't
it.
that
It's
good of a coach now.
And exactly. And what I think that helped Tibbs his campaign as a coach was the fact
defense.
but the team was so athletic the way
Yeah.
that they could play the defense that they played.
They all
Karl Anthony Towns, he's athletic, but he's not like, I don't think he's a Noah.
No,
Scoring wise, he's better than Noah, but
Absolutely.
passing, defense,
most big men are
Intensity.
better scorer than Noah.
intensity. Yeah.
Yeah.
You saw what Steve Kerr said about Joakim Noah.
What did you say?
he was like, if I could
refresh
take,
my memory.
It pretty much, if I could take anyone on my team, I would take Joakim Noah. It was something along the lines. I'd have to, where'd I see that? I think it was on House of. No, I don't remember. But he said that if he could pick a certain player or some shit like that, a player in a room, it would be Joakim Noah because of his intensity and what he brings to the team.
Off the stat line. It's unbelievable.
Joakim's intensity, the first year that Derrick Rose missed this full season with the ACL, Joakim Noah's intensity is what led them to the playoffs.
Oh.
His intensity.
Yeah.
His passing ability, his defense.
He didn't give up. He was battling for rebounds every single.
He was fourth in MVP voting that year.
Yeah.
I think he was sixth in assists as a total. As a center. Then I think the next closest center, I've said it before, the next closest center was like 30th on that list. So this man is averaging assists like a point guard. So I think a lot of that Tibbs was hyped up because of the athleticism that they had as a team to where they could play that hard-nosed defense, play in and play out, and still score the ball because they were so young.
And you had guys that were buying in. You had young guys that were buying in. Like, a lot of teams don't have players with that level of attitude, but they had good character guys who are always willing to buy in. You had Luol Deng that's always going to buy in. You had Taj Gibson that's always going to buy in. Joakim Noah, obviously. Jimmy
What are
Butler.
all those guys? Defensive-minded players.
Absolutely.
So
Which it makes you look like a great defensive coach.
Yes, when you have all those defense, and you had length. Taj, Noah, and Dang on the court all together at one time is a lot of length.
And a young Jimmy.
A young Jimmy.
Who's not going to get on the court if he's not playing defense at the time.
No, 100%. Or he's in that system, or if he was anywhere else at a better team, he wouldn't have gotten any tick time. But a lot of those guys, especially Jimmy, you can't tell me that there's a difference between a rookie getting a chance to finally shine or a 5, 6, 7, 8 year player that's been there. Who's got more hunger? The young guys. So they're going to hustle for those real those loose balls. They're going to hustle for them. 8 years, you're kind of like, I'll go for the next one. It's a contract year.
It's a contract year.
You know what I'm
it's
saying?
a contract year.
So,
and guess what for Jimmy?
You gave him that, and you gave them adversity in the sense of losing Derrick Rose. They had we're going to do this to prove that we are still a great team even without Derrick Rose. Yeah. So I think Tiz, I like him because he's defense, but let's be honest.
Can't run everybody into the ground, man.
No. He's got too much of a history running players into the ground, and I think this is the year. This is the year. With Karl Anthony Towns getting the extension, I may give him a little bit more time, but I was saying it a week ago, this might be Tibbs last year.
He needs to go coach college to where everybody's young.
To where everyone's young, and by the time they start to get burned out, they're going to the draft. Yeah.
Go to a team that they do a lot of one and dones.
Yeah.
And run them in the ground and put all the mileage on their legs.
You could be a college coaching legend.
Potentially.
Yeah.
Potentially, for sure.
Or be terrible.
Tibbs.
Or be ass trash.
Go to college.
Call us. We're trying to help.
And then he's going to go to high school because he's like, they're even younger.
Stay up.
Yeah. Bro, I ain't Derrick Rose. Get the fuck off me, boy.
You'd be coaching fifth graders.
Yeah, for real.
Joe.
Yeah.
Hoarse voice by the end of the first quarter.
Who's Buddy yelling like that for?
Like, bro, it's fucking recess, dude.
The score is 27-20, bro, in the fourth quarter. What are you yelling at?
Good defense, guys.
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
Right, so we got a week left in regular season baseball. All of our teams that we care about are looking good at the moment.
Yeah.
One way or another, because even if the Cubs do end up falling out of the division, they're still in the wild card. It's safe to say.
Did Milwaukee end up winning last night or lose?
Well, they lost because we're back up to 2.5.
2.5? 2.5. That helps.
So that feels great. The Yankees have
not another 90-win season.
They clinched.
Yeah, we clinched
yesterday.
last night. Yeah, we clinched. But still 9 out.
Damn, they're gonna win on again.
But we took 2 out of 3 out of Boston.
You needed that.
And what I've always said all year is when we play these Boston, who pitched the second game that we took? David Price, and we lit his ass up.
Oh, right now is the time to start talking about David Price because
he poopy. And Chris Sale hasn't been that great as of late either. He had his stint on the DL and he came back.
I read something that he might not even be eligible for the Cy Young, I believe, or MVP because he didn't pitch enough innings this year.
I believe it.
I feel bad for him from that standpoint, but realistically, for the Red Sox, they don't care that much about that. They want him.
They
want him
does.
playoffs.
They
Yeah,
need
of course,
to avoid
because
that sweep in the first round.
he's been too good for too long to not have a Cy Young by this point.
Yeah.
He's been top 3 how many times in his career?
It's tough.
I get why he's not going to get it this year. I do
Yeah.
understand why, but I do start to feel bad for the guy. But realistically, if you're Chris Sale, you forget all that stuff if you're going to win a World Series.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Big-
100%.
Especially for playing most of your career in Chicago.
Completely
on the
pointless.
south
The white
side.
South Side. Don't
Yeah,
I know,
you can let me
I'm not a
finish.
Cubs
The
fan,
South Side.
but South Side.
Playing completely pointless baseball basically his entire career. These
Pointless.
last 2 seasons have been the most meaningful for him by far. So, and they've been babying his last handful of starts, 4 innings, 2 innings, 1 inning. So they're easing him into the situation for the playoffs because they understand how important it is. Now, is he a playoff pitcher? We don't know yet. We still don't know.
We know David Price isn't.
Exactly. Yeah, paying
So
that all that
you
money.
potentially have 2 not playoff pitchers.
And they're your best 2 pitchers.
Like we said earlier in the podcast, it was probably maybe May or June. We said Chris Sale catches the pass because he wasn't in the playoffs. Last year was his first year. This year he's got to come with it in the playoffs.
Yeah.
David Price, nah, bruh.
You're going to the bullpen.
You are what you are. Yeah, you are what you are.
What's up, bro?
Yeah.
Because their offense is gonna get them through games, I'm sure. But we all know at this table, you need pitching in the postseason. Yeah. You need bullpen in the postseason. So all that has to come together, or forget about it. I mean, you really look at the last few World Series championships. Great bullpen pitching.
Yeah.
Great starting pitching in the playoffs.
100%.
The hitting,
key.
yeah, bro. You don't see a high-powered offense team necessarily winning without good pitching and without good bullpen. So.
Yeah. They have to have the pitching. They definitely have to have the pitching. So by this time next week, we should know who's all the players.
That'll be the last game of the
It's
season.
the last games of the
Sundays.
season. Sundays.
For us, it is. I'm not. It might be
okay.
Monday for some other teams, but for the most part, I think
It's
You'll
that
know.
weekend /
Yeah.
the beginning of the week, so
Yeah.
we're kind of have an idea who's going to be
realistic.
playing who.
In all honesty, because the Cardinals have, I think, a 2-game lead on the wild card. If all that continues, by the time we do our podcast next week, we probably will know all that.
Milwaukee has a two-game lead on the wild card.
Well, who's I'm talking about for the Cardinals and the next team.
Okay,
behind them.
1.5.
1.5.
Yeah.
Okay, so
So right now it'd be Milwaukee and St. Louis.
oh, I love it. I love it from the sense of one of them has to lose.
Who would we rather see
The
in the
Cardinals.
playoffs? I agree with you.
The Cardinals.
I don't think you guys want to see Milwaukee.
No.
They got a good team.
They
For a
do.
whole
Very
series.
good team.
I don't think I want to see Milwaukee
Very
for a
good.
whole
Yeah,
series.
that's a very.
You got Yelich, damn near MVP worthy.
Yeah.
Folks hit another cycle.
yeah.
Third one.
Second.
Oh, okay.
Second.
Okay, I know he hit one last week. Shit.
Yep.
It was like the first time anyone hit for the second cycle since what the 30s.
That's wild. And it was so close together, like within a month, I
Poor
believe.
Russell Wilson. Didn't stand a chance on that play.
Nah, I felt bad for him. Yeah, no, it's definitely going to be interesting. I'm happy Atlanta's clinched its first
Division.
division since
Deserved
what?
that.
I think it's 13, they said? No. It was the first time in the playoffs since 13. Or was it division?
Yeah, first time in no, it's division since 13. So that's it's been a long time coming. I'm happy for him. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting to see what Cleveland actually does in the playoffs. I'm really worried. I want to see that because I hope whoever they play sweep them.
The Braves
They get
have,
swept.
The Braves have the most division titles with the fewest amount of World Series championships in the new division era.
I believe it.
It was
believe
like
it.
18 division titles to 1 World Series.
Yeah, they had to play us twice. My uncle's a Braves fan, diehard Braves fan, and my dad back in the day, my dad was a diehard Yankees fan. He still is, but like kind of how I am now, but triple that. When they beat them, and they
He was a bigger Yankees fan than you are.
yeah, because he would get drunk and talk sports. So usually
Only
that-
difference.
Yeah, the only difference. And he was 6'4", 220. Definitely don't stand that. But when they beat them in the World Series, my mom used to clean my uncle's house because it's her brother for him like once a week. We went to his house and yankied the shit out of his entire house. On his toilet seat, we printed out the Braves mascot, and then it said, "Everyone pisses on the Braves." Above his bed, it says, "We know you're dreaming of the World Series." We Yankeed the shit out of his house. I'll never forget. I was like
reckless.
6 years old, bro. We went at like 11 o'clock at night to go do this. I'm sorry, but yes, I'm happy the Braves.
Playoffs are pretty much set in the American League. We're just waiting on Oakland.
Playoffs have been set for like a month.
Well, I mean, division winners and wild.
I just want to
Yeah.
know, because I would love to see who Boston is going to get matched up against.
They get the
Probably
winner of that
Cleveland.
wild card game, don't
Do they? Yes, I think they do because they're the top seed.
That's what AK's wanting.
Ooh, I'm more worried about the one game playoff than the series if we do win to play Boston.
Because as it stands now,
And we
you
got
play-
Aaron Judge back.
You play what, Oakland right now?
Yes.
Okay.
Oakland's a good team.
They are.
Oakland's a very good team. They got very, very good pitching.
And they had a hot streak in the middle of the season.
They
too.
did. They've kind of cooled off, and so have a lot of teams in all reality have cooled off. But yes, I hope that's the case, and we play Boston because I would love to see us take Boston out because
If it's Boston Yankees in the series, I want to watch a game with you just to see the intensity.
I'm going crazy.
I'm just gonna sit in the back and not say shit, but I want to just be around that shit.
No, believe it or
It's
not,
probably going to be pretty equivalent to me.
no, I'm kind of chill when it comes to the Yankees in the playoffs because
27.
He's so used to seeing them fucking win.
no,
so
not
it
even
makes
that.
sense.
Like as of late,
Fucking
I'm
guy.
used to them losing in the playoffs. They haven't made that run to the World Series since '09.
Yeah.
But even then, like we would get to the playoffs and not do anything. So I've kind of come to the custom that
Just so we got this on record, how many times have you seen the Yankees win a World Series?
5
Okay. Glad we got that on recording.
World Series, and I remember all. And I remember all 5. Believe it or not,
Good. I'm glad.
I remember all 5.
5, Zach. 5.
And we've been to this, and we've been to the World Series since I've been alive 7 times. And we lost to the Marlins, and then we lost to the goddamn Diamondbacks on Luis Gonzalez hit a blooper.
Oh, I touched the nerve. Sorry, bro.
What?
disgusting.
What is?
Just
7 World Series.
7 World Series.
we're over here hoping we get to another one. Mm-hmm. 4 straight 90-win seasons for the Cubs, though. I'll take it.
Yeah.
That's solid. All right, so percentage-wise, obviously 0 through 100. What's your percentage that you're confident
Getting
that
or
the Cubbies are
winning?
going to make it out of the NL?
0 to 100 level of confidence. Realistically,
About 49.5. The Dodgers are getting hot again. We know what that means.
57. Only
You're
because
going a
of the
little higher?
Dodgers.
And
What pushes you over the 50% range?
we get Stroh back and we have a closer and our bullpen isn't ass trash. And everybody performs. And,
I figured
you
that.
want me to keep going?
No, but yours is a 49 and his is a 57.
Right.
What is that difference?
For me, yes, the Dodgers are starting to get hot, but they've shown their chinks in armor this season too. So they're not. The Dodgers are not as good as they were last year.
They choke. They're gonna choke. Dodgers choke.
They're not as good as they were last year, and I'm looking forward to that. As far as any other team in the NL, the Braves, it's a year too early. The Brewers,
I think the Braves got the best chance to beat you guys if it comes down to it.
So do I.
they're probably the most talented.
They've beat
They're
us
probably the most
pretty much
talented
all
in the
year.
NL right now.
Run differential is pretty much the same. Records are pretty much the
I was
same.
gonna say you're pretty much similar across the board.
The only thing that I'm counting on against the Braves is that they're inexperienced, which when we were there in 15, we were inexperienced and we won series that we shouldn't have won.
Yeah, we had no business beating the Cardinals.
No, we didn't. But also at the same time, before we got to that playoff series, we started to beat them late in the season.
True.
So when you got to the playoffs, it was just another series. It's like, all right, we play you guys 15 times a year, whatever.
Yeah.
The Braves, it's a little bit different of a scenario, and they may not be ready for that spotlight moment. The Dodgers, though, if we face the Dodgers in LCS, I'm going to be a little worried.
I'd be more worried about Atlanta because, like Joe said, Atlanta's had your number this year.
Yeah.
Atlanta has beat us, dude. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
They
No,
beat us.
definitely.
I mean, every time we've played Atlanta, it's been, God damn it, they are
Braves
fucking
are
good.
Yeah. No,
You know?
100% agree.
But the year too early, yeah, it could be, but
That's all I'm clinging on to.
But we were a year too early.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And what a lot of people don't realize is we got very lucky with our players developing as fast as they did. rebuilds don't happen like that.
And unfortunately, I would say that our players haven't developed as well since.
No.
You look at the guys that we counted on in 15 and 16. Look at them now. Addison Russell is away from the team right now. I don't even want to talk about
Mike Tyson ass.
I don't even want to talk about that as a whole. But
There
Addison,
was an argument on Facebook post the other day, and it said, you guys knew Addison Russell was going to be gone. That's why you picked up Daniel Murphy. No, we picked up Daniel Murphy because Addison Russell has been sucking asshole. That's why we picked Daniel Murphy
Ever
and you
since
got him for nothing. You got him for nothing.
Yeah. Addison Russell, since the beginning of his whole dispute with his now ex-wife.
That was
2 years ago almost.
last year.
Yeah, it was the beginning of the season last year. You've been dealing with this for almost 2 years as an organization. It is what it is, and your lack of performance isn't helping.
No.
So with him being away, are you guys like, damn, that kind of hurts us a little bit?
I'm more, and you know how much I like Eddie Russ.
I don't like him.
I'm more confident now that we have a better hitter in the lineup.
I think he was
Because you slide Baez over to short.
Short.
You match defense. Murphy,
I think
second
I
base.
think Javi's a better shortstop than Eddie Russ. He has. I feel. Yeah, Javi can. He has his moments where he.
I watched him overthrow Rizzo twice yesterday.
He did.
Eddie Russ, Javi is better, but I don't think it's by a huge gap.
No, I think he's better at
They're
stopping
fielding-
the ball getting to the outfield. He's quicker off his first step than Eddie Russ is. Eddie Russ is nowhere near athletic as Javi. You give Javi a tennis racket, and I guarantee you he's probably a good tennis player.
And his arm isn't as strong as Javi Baez's is.
No, Javi's got a strong arm, but like Joe said, his accuracy is a little bit different. But that's also because the man has been playing second base all year. I don't care what anybody says. You slide over from second to short. You slide from second to third.
Those are
It's
different
a
angles.
40-yard throw from third base to first base.
Yes.
40 yards.
Yes.
That's a fucking throw, dude.
Yes, it
You know what I
is.
mean?
So-
So then it only gets shorter as you get closer,
Yeah,
obviously.
so Javi's had to do the second
But
base thing.
I'm definitely more confident, and I hate Murphy. I can't stand the fucking guy.
Yeah, I'm still not.
But
I'm still not
do
on
I
that
love
train.
his bat in the lineup? Yes, I do. And I love
That
Baez
veteran-
at short.
Veteran how leadership that comes with Murphy, even though he
We
doesn't know
better
those guys
get
very well.
we better get playoff Daniel Murphy, or I'm going to be furious. I'm not. Look, we get playoff Daniel Murphy, I'll forgive everything.
I saw a little meme thing, and it was Bryce Harper says, "You can't choke in the playoffs if you don't make the playoffs, motherfucker." I was dying.
Smart.
And then they proceeded to put a Dodgers hat on and said he's gonna choke there next year. Don't worry.
Dude, I still can't get over when they put him on waivers and the Dodgers claimed him, and the Washington Nationals says, "Fuck no."
Yes.
They said, no, we'll rather send him to the Cubs. But, I mean, back to the Baez, I mean, he's definitely the front runner right now for the MVP.
Oh, Baez is playing very well. Very well. But I like
Timely
Baez.
home run last night.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, he
34 and 100 and...
No, I thought he's got 30. Or no, it was 34 with that one, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
It was 34
okay.
with that one last
30,
night. Yep.
yeah, 34 and 109 or 10 RBIs, I think.
Hey, I know we
Good
said
numbers
it.
for
Hey,
Javi.
we said it probably the second week. I called Javi could win the MVP.
I was skeptical when
You
you said it. I
argue with
remember.
me. You had Freeman.
No. The very beginning, like before but I know we did the midseason. The
Okay.
midseason ones I did Freeman, but
Okay.
the very beginning of
All right,
it was
I'll
like the
give you
second
that.
or third episode. We
Okay.
talked about. I said if Javi can keep playing like this, the man could easily win the
Yeah.
MVP.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and he's right there.
And in all reality, the only other competition I feel in the National League
Yelich.
is Freeman.
Yeah, that's
Yelich.
it.
And Yelich.
Freeman's,
No,
not, Freeman's not even on the odds to win it.
No.
Nope. You got Javier, Christian Yelich, Nolan Arenado, Matt Carpenter, and then Paul Goldschmidt.
See, I don't think
If you don't make
if
the
you're
playoffs,
not in the playoffs, you shouldn't be in contention for MVP.
100% agree.
100%.
Unless you got to put some godly numbers up to be in contention without
Like
making the
Mike
playoffs.
Trout numbers, but even then, he's not.
And then you got Mookie, who's...
I think JD Martinez is not gonna get it too. I think.
I mean, obviously these are just odds right now, but Vegas has Mookie minus 240, and then you got JD Martinez plus 450. So Mookie is a long shot, probably going to win it. But obviously that's just the odds in betting. That has nothing to do with how they're going to vote, who's going to vote, who has a vote. Because that all changes.
Vegas' statistics.
Yeah.
Voting is off of actual watching.
They have different voters every year.
Yeah. So it's definitely interesting. Baseball. I mean, obviously, playoff baseball is always fun, especially when your team's in it.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
let's
definitely.
let's be honest.
When the Cubs aren't in it, I'm not watching
Oh, I am.
until the World Series. I'm not watching until the World Series.
Certain series, I'll watch certain series. Depends on who it is.
Mm-hmm.
I don't watch everything. Like whoever Cleveland plays, probably not going to watch
Boring.
it. Probably not going to watch it. Obviously, whoever the Cubbies, you guys are going to end up playing whoever comes out that wild card, right?
Which is going to make that a huge matchup regardless who wins.
Yeah, if we
So
finish
it's going to be
at the
pretty
top.
much a divisional game in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with us. We're going to probably play Boston. I mean, if we win, we play Boston.
Yeah.
So 2 division games.
doing AK dance.
Hey, all I'm saying is Yankees World Series, baby, 2018.
I think the worst case scenario will be Yankees Cubs in the World Series because
Worst case, that's the best case. What are you talking about? I can go to a World Series game finally.
That's a good case for you. I'm moving out that week, motherfucker.
Why?
I'm going to a hotel
because,
that week, dude.
because here's the unfortunate truth: if the Cubs do beat the Yankees in the World Series, you're getting kicked out the next week.
And then if they beat them, I'm never gonna fucking hear the end of it. Yeah, I'm moving out after the.
So either way,
I'm moving out.
any way the scenario pans out, Joe's gone, right?
You win. I'm outie.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was a really good one.
So, are we gonna do? No, we're doing a Player of the Week this week.
Mine's not a player, but I got one. It's a team.
I bet I know where you're going.
Easy.
Okay.
You know it.
You got one ready? You want to do yours last? Are you
No,
ready?
I'll go first.
Okay, go for it.
Tiger Woods.
What?
The man,
Hey,
the man had about 5 straight birdies. That's the most consecutive he's had.
remember
in,
that
like,
shot
forever.
that I said, how did he put it there?
The
That
one
was
that
the
hit the
shot
bank
of the
and
week.
rolled on?
Yep, the one that just got over the sand trap.
Yeah.
That shot of the week right now.
Or that one when he was in the sand trap.
That's the one I'm talking about from 172 yards out, and he put it right over.
No. You're talking the one that he just missed the sand trap and hit that little small bank and it rolled towards
The one I'm talking about was he was in the middle of the sand trap
Oh, and I said
and
he lifted it.
and
Yeah.
got right over the other sand trap and put it right by the hole.
Yes, that's the one I'm talking
Either
about.
way, he was in the sand for like 4 straight holes.
Yeah, and he still had birdies.
Like I was telling him yesterday, if he wins this tournament, it's a $2 million payday. If certain players fall in certain spots, it's a $10 million payday for a total of $12 million. And for Tiger to make his first win since 2013 this tournament,
It's a good time to win.
it's just not. It what sucks is it's a major tournament, but it's not a major.
It's the 5th major,
Right.
technically. Yeah.
There's a couple 5th majors. They consider the Players Championship a 5th major too.
True.
But
Yeah.
I like it. I'm going with the Cleveland Browns. They got that W out the way. That's big for that city.
What was
Yeah.
it?
And they got wasted on free Bud Light.
I mean,
There was like bars had coolers locked
Yeah,
up,
locked
and
up,
as
and
soon
they
as
took-
they got their first W, they were allowed to unlock it and give the free beer away. Dilly dilly, bro.
whole city,
Dilly dilly.
whole city getting shredded.
I like that a lot, actually.
Mine is gonna be it's a whole week ago, but technically we're still in the 24-hour rule. Ryan Fitzpatrick had a great game, but his post game was 10 times better.
When he stole
He stole Deshaun Jackson's clothes and did his press conference looking like a mafia gangster.
Nah, he looked like the 4th member of the Migos. God damn it! That's what he looked like, the 4th member of the Migos.
It looked like a little kid that got caught with his hands in a cookie jar as soon as Deshaun Jackson walked into
and
the
then
room.
the reporter asked him, like, is any of this yours? He said the chest hair.
Just a chest. Hey, I saw it had a meme. It was Ryan Fitzpatrick when he was young, and when Ryan Fitzpatrick when he was old, he said he went from I'll have your daughter home at 10 and says your wife even calls me.
Dog.
I was dying, bro. I was fucking cracking up.
I'm happy for Ryan Fitzpatrick. Ride this wave as long as you can, dude.
Yeah, because you know that 4 interception game's coming.
Oh, it's coming. It's coming real soon.
Zach got to go.
We early. So anything else you guys want to touch on before we get out of here?
No. You guys will either see us in this room again or in
Or
our
in
living
a whole
room.
new environment.
Yeah, so
Hopefully the audio and video and everything works, because we're going to be blind there.
yeah. And Zach might be tied up somewhere in the closet, and so will be D-Mob when he comes back from fucking
They have no idea how to run this equipment.
None.
YouTube.
I'm gonna hit up Lamar.
Yeah, hey, Lamar.
Zach said you were gonna help
Yeah,
us
bro,
out.
Zach's
this week.
gone, bro. He
Yeah,
didn't answer my calls.
He's MIA, bro. We gotta do this podcast.
Yeah, for sure, bro. I'll come over.
Yo, this podcast
Ain't no problem. Ain't no problem.
This podcast is officially evidence. Exhibit A, motherfucker.
No. Other than that, I'm good, man. I think that's everything.
Well, fuck it. I got a Cubs game I got to get to, so I got to get this audio ready. So, fuck, let's get to it. It's been another episode of Smack Talk. Thank you, guys.